Hey, welcome to another episode of the Evolved Dad Shortcast. So, being that we're in the new year, there's this mistaken concept of New Year's resolutions where people wait specifically for the new year to start doing new things, starting a business, improving their health, improving relationships, taking care of themselves. And it's a very badly mistaken concept because it causes people to lose out on an entire year because they don't have that unofficial start line. And if you've been around my content before, you know how much I dislike the idea of New Year's resolutions. Not that a resolution that happens to start at New Year's is a problem. Sometimes we need those starting markers. But if you're part of the way through the year, you don't have to wait. You shouldn't be waiting. If there's something that's important enough for you to start, something important enough for you to work on, it's important that you start now. And if it's really not important enough, then don't do it. Find what is important. So now, even at this point, it could be that you've fallen off your New Year's resolutions if you got one. I know that when I used to do New Year's resolutions, they were not the most successful because if there's really truly something to drive you to get something done, to accomplish something, starting at that point in time is when you're going to have the most motivation. Now, being that we live a lifestyle where we're going 100 miles an hour, it's so much more important that we have a well defined outline so we can figure out what those goals are. The goals shouldn't necessarily be from something that you saw someone else doing that doesn't pertain to you at all. It should be something that pertains towards your bigger picture goals in life. So let's take the concept of a car going 100 miles an hour. If you're driving 100 miles an hour down the highway, you need to have an idea where you're going to be getting off because you need to slow down and get ready to move over a lane or two so that you get off at your exit. But if you don't know where you're going and you're just looking out for that sign and you're going speeding down in the left lane, there's a good chance that either you're going to get into an accident or you're going to totally miss your stop. Either way, it's not good. If you miss your stop, you got to go all the way back around and then try again. If you get into an accident, we don't have to speak what that's like. It's not good. So that's where the concept of the perfect day exercise comes in. The perfect day exercise is where you sit down with a pen and paper and you write down morning till night what you would want to do. Are you the person that wants to get up early so you can exercise? Do you want to get up so that you could read? Or maybe it's just some self care time where you just walk around. Are your evenings structured as you'd like them to be? What does your perfect day look like? And that's something only you can answer. And the reason that I say doing the perfect day exercise with pen and paper is because having technology as part of the picture takes away from that you aspect. It doesn't give you the ability to be able to detach yourself from everything else going on and really think about what you want. Where do you want to be? What does that perfect day look like to you? Now, when you're going 100 miles an hour and you're trying to get to that goal, making that little lane shift before your exit is crucial. So that's the same concept of what we're dealing with here. Let's take, for example, your goal is you want to get up early and exercise for half an hour every morning, which is a fantastic goal. You know you're not going to get any other time at this point to be able to exercise. That's what you want to do. Now you can figure out does it make sense for you to get up 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes earlier, slowly over time? Or do you have such a strong desire to get up earlier, maybe for health purposes or something that's causing you to have this very strong push to start exercising daily? Maybe you can start getting up that hour earlier right away. But you have something to work with. You know where you're going. So now you can make that decision. You could break it down and say, what am I up to? How am I getting to that end goal of getting up early so I can exercise for half an hour every day? And the same concept, let's say you want to be able to, in your perfect day, have lunch with your wife every day. Right now, you both work separate jobs, you're miles away, and you physically can't do it. So now you have a goal in mind. What's that next step? What can you do? Where are you trying to go with this? Lunch is not really the end goal. It's really growing your relationship. It's building your bond. It's spending more time together. So now you know your goal. You know where you're going. You know that exit. So what can you do right now to get closer to that? Maybe it's a 5-minute phone call when you both have that lunch break. Maybe it's a video call. Maybe it's just sending a little message of, I love you. How's your day going? The idea is to know where you're going. Because once you know where you're going, everything else can get worked out. Yeah, you may not be able to get to that point right now, but you can start taking those little steps. And that's the idea of steering away from having New Year's as your start line. Because it doesn't make a difference what time of year it is. It doesn't make a difference what's going on. It doesn't make a difference in the middle of the week, the end of the week, the beginning of the week, the beginning, end, middle of the month. Who cares? This is your plan. This is your baseline. This is where you're going. Now you just need to break it down and understand how are you going to get there. Now, I would say that I've seen the most success from when people take their perfect day and break down one piece at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. You may not have to get to 100%. That depends on what your end goal is. But start breaking one thing at a time. Don't start with your morning, afternoon, and evening routines that are going to get you closer. Take it slow. Track your progress. Build up your self-confidence. Show yourself that you can accomplish that. Because that's all it takes is just those little pieces of growth where you start building momentum and you start building a trust in yourself. You know that you can do this. Maybe it's something where you have to lose a lot of weight. Yeah, setting a goal for losing 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds is a lot. But if you could do something small, like starting to eat a little bit healthier, stopping to eat 3 hours before you go to sleep, choose one thing. Prove to yourself that you can do this. Yeah, it's going to take some time, but that's okay because you're making that progress. On the flip side, what are you doing? On the flip side, you're doing absolutely nothing. So you have two choices here. Make slow, sustainable progress, or look back in 6 months and say, I got to lose weight. I didn't lose any weight. I didn't do anything to do. What am I going to do? Then you feel hopeless. So that's what I want you to do when you finish with this podcast. Sit down for just 5 minutes and start working on your perfect day. Pen, paper, phone away. No technology. Sit down. Start writing down those ideas. It doesn't have to be a full picture plan. Get a core baseline of what you want to start doing. What does your perfect day look like? And then take one thing at a time and start breaking it down into easily achievable goals. As always, I want to thank you for spending your time with me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this perfect day exercise concept. Please leave notes leave comments below, and I will make sure to get back to each one of you. And looking forward to seeing you next time. This is Jonathan, the Evolved Dad, signing off.